Okay, it's time now to add some reverb to all these sounds. So let's see what would benefit from some reverb on it. Now I have two returns right here. So one of them has a reverb on it and 155, yeah, that's a longer reverb. So I would need another reverb right here. That's gonna be shorter one. So let's say I have two reverbs, shorter and a longer one. I'm gonna make this one really short, like that, all the way wet, because it's on the send channel. I mean on the return track, so I'm gonna be sending sounds to it, and this channel is just going to give me back the reverb portion of the sound. Let's see what I need reverb on. So some of these maybe some of these drums, as I'm figuring out they're really dry, all of them. Let's see this clap first. Yeah, really dry. So let's try to add some reverb to it. Nice. Yeah, just some space added. What about the chimes? I think that's enough. This one doesn't need it. Now these could benefit from a lot of reverb, I would say. Okay, moderately, of course, but the way I'm going to judge upon that is play all of this together and see maybe that's too much on some things. Just enough. Now, what about all these bass sounds? Some of them would benefit from some reverb, that's for sure. Let me check. Yeah, this one with a long reverb. Nice. Next. These two. So you see, some of these sounds I'm going to send to both of these reverbs, so the short one and the long one, creating an artificial space, but maybe even more rich, just to see if I can add some of that close atmosphere to some of them along with some of the long reverb. Okay, I like that. And let's see, right here we have these two sounds. I think that the lowest one, this one, okay, this is a belly sound. I think this one would need more. Yep, I like that. A lot of reverb on this one. Nice, I like that. And let me see about this sound too. Okay, that needs some reverb. Let's see about that. That was just in the drop. Let's see about all of these sounds right here in the breakdown. So, like this. Now, this one definitely needs more reverb. Okay, I like that. I like that. Let's see what else we can do. Now, I already had a reverb here placed already on the channel with some automation done. And how I used it was not actually a reverb in a sense to add room or three-dimensional feeling to the mix. It's actually as a special effect. And the way I have it is adding reverb slowly to all the instruments right here in this lead chain group. You see, and the automation has this dry wet connected to this macro one. And I'm pulling that dry wet all the way up, so all of these just fade into large amounts of reverb, and just the reverb in the end, you see right here, everything just becomes reverb. There is no original sound anymore. So they actually fade out, and that brings us from that piece of the intro into our breakdown, just like this. And you see, by the end, I'm actually bringing those sounds forward, closer to you as the drop is about to hit. So that's one way of using reverb creatively. So creatively to add reverb to diffuse all of the sounds and make them not so coherent before the beginning of this breakdown. So as a tool of transition generally. So now I've added reverb and reverberation by just having these two reverbs, a shorter one and a longer one, on these return tracks. And I have sent the tracks from my composition right here to those reverbs to actually gain some three dimensions in the song. Now, let me play that right here and just turn off these two, so you will hear the difference with the reverb and without it. So that's that spaciousness that actually turns up missing once you remove the reverb altogether. Now, the reason I'm adding reverbs like this on return tracks is because many of the high quality reverbs, they actually do tend to take away a lot of the CPU, so that could not be a problem for you. But also another reason is that I'm using, let's say, a couple of reverbs, 2, 3, or 4 of them even, for my entire song. Meaning that I'm putting this entire song into this mixture of these 4 virtual spaces, keeping that song in that one recognizable visual space. This is even more often done for acoustic music mixing. So once we have like real instruments, we want to create or portray a real soundstage, something that would naturally happen. We would use reverbs just like this, so that the entire song has this coherent, soundstage of the same ambience added almost to everything. It's not, as I said, always one and the same reverb. It's usually a couple of them, and you begin from the short one, middle length reverb, according to its time, of course. It's D60, this time, the decay time. And then you add a longer one, so let's say a 3 reverb mixture, and you add that to your entire song. So the song in general and all the elements, they retain the same ambience, giving you a more natural illusion of space. Now, aside of that, I'm using only 2 reverbs at the moment, 3 with the one that I used as a special effect, but 2 reverbs alone for this entire track, saving my CPU as well if I'm using some really heavy reverbs that are really heavy on my CPU. So I could load up 4 or 5 of them and use those 5 for the entire song. Imagine if I wanted to add a reverb to each one of these channels, as I actually did, by using 1 reverb for each one of those tracks. Now that would seriously diminish my CPU power at some point. Now, that's just one of the things that, is an advantage to using reverbs just like this.